Hello everyone, my name is Mabel Vargas and I will be presenting stereotyping and prejudice. Stereotyping is an oversimplified idea, image, or generalization about a certain group of people that is accepted by others. It can be negative or positive. It develops superiority or inferiority in the person or group, and it also ignores the uniqueness of individuals by painting all members of the group in the same way. Stereotypes can occur with different ethnicities, groups, social classes, religious groups, and opposite sexes. It can be seen in lower class people, men and women, and they're mostly often applied to gender, age, ethnicity, race, occupation, physical appearance, place of residence, membership to an organization. Let me give you some examples. Age, for example. If someone says, well, that person is older, the stereotype could be that they have knowledge. Occupation. If that person is an athlete, then they must be strong. Physical appearance. If that person has tattoos, then they must be in a rock band. So these are all types of stereotypes. Why do stereotypes occur? Stereotypes arise as a way of explaining or justifying differences between groups. It's a lack of exposure to other groups and cultures. Do you believe these examples that I am about to give you are stereotypes? Girls are emotional. India has many people. French people love food. Yes, these are all stereotypes, even though some are negative and some are positive. Where do stereotypes come from? The media is one of our major factors. It's also learned by our parents and our family, friends, and a big factor is fear, a sense of superiority, a lack of experience of people. What are the effects of stereotyping? The effects of stereotyping happen when there's prejudice, stigma, discrimination, racism, and conflict. In the following slide, I will speak about prejudice. Prejudice is a judgment or opinion of someone formed before you know all the facts of that person. It's basically prejudgment. It's a negative feeling towards people who belong to a particular social group. It's also a negative evaluation of the group that can lead to discrimination. There are also different types of prejudice: age, religious, ethnic, appearance, physical disadvantages, race, sex prejudice, economic and class prejudice. Prejudices are irrational, unfair, dangerous because they may result in irrational violence based on irrational beliefs. However, we all do have prejudice because they are cultural and historical origins, and sometimes they are based on fear to those who are different from us. Discrimination is also the end result of prejudice and stereotyping. Discrimination is also the end result of prejudice and stereotyping. It is an action or practice of differentiating and applying unequal treatment of other groups, usually along racial, religious, or ethnic groups. Discrimination is a negative action. There is discrimination based on race, appearance, culture, ethnicity, and all the factors that prejudice and stereotype. There are unlawful and not unlawful discrimination. For example, unlawful, like sexual and racial discrimination, or not unlawful, like a coach taking sides with a favorite player. However, most of the times, discrimination is an unfair treatment to other members or groups. Sex discrimination, racial discrimination. For example, Chinese discrimination. Players are overlooked for team selection due to race. Age discrimination. Someone is not hired due to their age, being too young or too old. There have been many acts of law in order to prevent discrimination, such as the Equal Pay Act of 1963, the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Civil Rights Act of 1991, and, among others, the American with Disabilities Act, and finally, the Equality Act. Stereotyping and prejudice. Now that we understand what stereotyping and prejudice is all about, How do we tackle it and eliminate it? First of all, by greater interaction. We must understand that cultural differences do exist. People from different cultures and ethnic backgrounds do speak and behave differently. Even if we do look alike, it does not mean that we are alike. It is a common mistake to assume that others value and believe the same as us. It is important, however, to take the time to explore that person's background and cultural value before you can determine they have in common with you. Assuming differences. The fact is, human beings do share common experiences, and we all are humans. We are all members of the human family. The most important thing is to communicate, and by communicating, we can understand ourselves. Dr. Donald Brown, an anthropologist, combined a list of what different types of beliefs we have that are the same in every other country. Basically, a universal belief system. What are they? Number 1, have belief about death. We all believe about certain things about death. We divide labor on basis of sex. Experience envy, pain, jealousy, shame, and pride. Have rules of etiquette. Experience empathy. Value some degree of collaboration or cooperation. And finally, experience conflict to manage or mediate conflict. Our third point is improving intercultural communication. This is, for me, one of the most important ones. If we're able to adapt your behavior towards another person in ways that other person feels appropriate with their culture, it's very important to have knowledge about their culture and their motivation, so you can adapt and modify your own, not your ideals or your behavior, but in order not to create problems. First, you must develop knowledge, develop skills, and develop motivation. Seek information. When you seek information, you gather knowledge. It allows you to enhance the quality of intercultural communication. Investigate, research, gather information so that you are prepared to study for that culture and not hold judgment or stereotypes. Tolerate ambiguity. Be patient, because sometimes communicating is a bit hard. Use several exchanges to clarify your message. And be tolerant, because sometimes worldview will clash with yours. That does not mean that you hold common ground. Finally, be in mind. Thank you very much, and I hope you like this presentation.